Okay. Gevorg,
Morning, everyone. How are you?
good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. So, welcome to our candidate interview session. I'm going to give you some background on our association, some ground rules, and then we'll get started. Our association, Gevorg, was established back in 1920 with fewer than about 70 members. From very beginning, our members have not just participated in the community, they've helped shape it. Realtors have served with distinction across Glendale, City Council, Chambers of Commerce, planning commissions, school boards, numerous civic bodies, earning recognition for leadership, service, and results. Giving back isn't an afterthought for us, it's part of our DNA. Year after year, we have supported local organizations and community initiatives. In fact, over past couple of decades, we have raised about $1.5 million and distributed it to community organizations such as Salvation Army and vital community partners that serve Glendale residents. Today, our membership is close to about 1,500 professionals. 1,200 of us are registered voters. When you factor in our families, clients, extended networks, our sphere of influence reaches deep into the Glendale electorate, representing thousands of engaged and informed voters. So, this conversation that you are going to have with us today matters. Each candidate, including yourself, will have about 2 minutes to give a opening statement and 2 minutes for your closing remarks. So, and in between, you'll be asked 5 or 6 questions if time permits. So, if you truncate your answers to the 2 minutes and 2 minutes and a quarter, we'll be able to cover all 6 questions. With that, please go get started and let us know a little bit about yourself and your opening statement.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gevorg Grigoryan. Thank you for having me here with you and giving me the opportunity. I'm an architect and a builder and a small business owner. I'm the candidate who has the background to solve the housing crisis with managing the budget and calculating the development and the safety issues and the proper budget management. I'm a former army sergeant and I know what it means to fight for your people and stand next to the people and to be with your firefighters and police officers. Because I always compare army to the police department. It's just the army fights against enemy, the police fights against the crime. And I'm here to solve the housing crisis in Glendale, but with proper management of uh, the city without destroying the character of the city. We want to keep Glendale as it is. We don't want to bring New York style to Glendale. If we want to live in New York, then we can move to New York. We want to keep Glendale as it is to have the best city. But right now, we can see the constant downfall of Glendale by misusing the budget, raising housing and all the costs, actually. And we have a lot of issues that the people can't afford to stay here in Glendale. Our families are getting priced out. Our young people don't even know if they can stay here in Glendale or not. And too many people don't feel as safe as they should in their own city. So there is something wrong. And being an architect, I know firsthand how we can solve with the housing crisis and what makes the housing costs rising so fast. By permitting delays, we can see that the housing projects takes over 3 years here in Glendale. And during these 3 years, the investors are spending too much money. And this is one of the problems that makes uh, the costs rising. And but affordability without the safety means nothing. So if we develop, we should calculate properly how to manage the safety, because developing and bringing more people in Glendale, there will be raising calls to police department, fire department, and they are gonna raising the safety issues with them together. So the first we have to calculate how
Okay,
to manage
Gevorg,
this.
Gevorg, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but the 2 minutes goes really quickly. You will be able
Okay,
to get into details with us pretty soon. Let me have our president that will be posing the question from you, and then you can get into a little bit more detail. Again, try and keep it at 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a quarter seconds.
sure.
Dro?
Hi, Gevorg. Thank you for joining us today. My question will be in regards to revenue measures to address Glendale's projected structural budget deficit. Some have proposed placing various revenue measures before voters. Would you support placing any of the following measures on the ballot? One would be parcel tax, two would be real estate transfer tax, three would be sales tax, and four would be vacancy tax on residential or commercial properties.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't support any raising taxes or any more taxes, because we know already in Glendale we have high taxes. So we should not think only raising and hiring the taxes and bringing more taxes and taxes. So let's concentrate how to bring more money without raising taxes. We can bring more residents into Glendale by building more housing units. We can bring more businesses into Glendale without raising any of these taxes. If we manage to expedite the permitting process, which is the worst in the area, as we know, then many businesses will try to come to Glendale because they want to come to Glendale. Just we are isolated and we are not supportive to small businesses. So if we manage to bring businesses, actually the permitting process from 3 years to 2 months, as we can see it's possible in, let's say, Los Angeles City, more businesses will come to Glendale and we can collect more taxes without raising the taxes. We don't need to raise the taxes, because if they don't come here, raising taxes will push the ones that are here now out as well. And we're going to lose more taxes with raising taxes. So let's be business friendly. Let's be friendly to housing. And this way we can collect more taxes without raising taxes.
Thank you. Your next question, Giver, will come from our past president and current chair of local government relations, Eddie Minassian.
Good morning, Gevorg. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay, my question to you is regarding council district elections. Do you support or oppose transitioning Glendale from at-large election to district-based council elections, and why? And if you support districts, how many should Glendale have, and what criteria should guide the map? If you oppose districts, how would you address the city's CVRA exposure and potential litigation costs? Thank you.
So in my personal opinion, I support that. But as we can see, the people of Glendale had it on the ballots some already 2 times and they oppose it. But in my personal perspective, I support that, because being in the neighborhood and being the representative in the leadership for your neighborhood would be much easier to manage. We know that LA City has the council districts are even more than the whole city of Glendale, but they can manage it. So it's possible, but to have more supportive and more valued work that you can do for your districts would be much easier if that would be with the districts. And how many districts? I believe 5 districts would be more than enough to have in Glendale, which we can see already with the school districts. But we can also face the problems that the school districts have right now by choosing only from their districts, their candidates and their representatives. So it's a question that I believe should the people decide, but on my own perspective, I would support that.
All right, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Georg. Your next question will come from our board member, Carmen Arom.
Good morning, Mr. Grigoryan. Thank you for being here. So my question has to do with housing types and development. In general, which types of housing development do you believe Glendale should prioritize? Large apartment buildings, mid-scale multifamily developments, approximately 8 to 16 units, ownership housing such as single-family homes, townhomes, and condominiums, or a balanced mix depending on location?
I would say a balanced mix depending on location. So in the downtown area and civic center area, we can see already that there are a lot of multifamily big residential buildings, and I support that in that particular area. And even if needed, I would raise the height limits to have bigger units in the downtown and civic center areas. In the northern areas where the single family houses are, I believe that SB9 ADU and junior ADUs are enough for the single family areas so we don't destroy the character of the neighborhood. We should look on from a bird view to not destroy the character of Glendale. So we can raise housing without destroying it. It depends just from the area and the district and the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gevorg. And your next question will come from one of our long-standing brokers, Rick Bunyadi. Rick?
Good morning, Mr. Grigoryan, and thank you
Morning.
very much for accepting our invitation. My question is on the bike lane policy. Do you support or oppose removing vehicle lanes to create bike lane? And if you support lane reductions, what evidence do you have that voters agree? If you oppose the lane reductions, what alternative mobility improvements do you propose?
That's actually a very good question because I always answer this question from my own perspective as an architect. I always say if somebody would come to me and say, you know, I have too many kids right now and I want to add sleeping areas for them. And I said them, let's remove the bedroom and add 3 tents over there. So that's not a solution. Right now, we face a lot of traffic problems here in Glendale. And removing one car lane to add a bike lane, that's not a solution. That's going to make even worse. So we have to figure out to stay out of the streets, but add the bike lanes because we all, actually me, I love biking, but I'm not thinking about to destroy the street so I can bike because I walk to my office. If that's the case, everyone should think about ourselves only. So let's remove the streets and make all walking and sidewalks. So remove the streets fully. No, that's not a solution. We have to do a research. And I'm the person that I'm going to take the hard work to do the research personally and figure out how to add the bike lanes without removing the streets, without removing the lanes of the cars, because we are a car-based city. So we can't destroy and make even worse the traffic just because we want to bike here in Glendale.
Thank you. And your next question will come from our local government board member, Vic Gazarian. Vic, please go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Grigoryan.
Good morning.
My question is about publicly owned parking lots.
Mhm.
Do you support or oppose developing publicly owned parking lots, such as in Montrose or around the civic center into mixed-use housing? If you support the idea, how will you address parking displacement and protect small businesses?
So before adding the multi-residential unit, we should see what we get from them. So right now we know that every multi-family residential building has mandates for this parking, with 20% more for their guests and such stuff like that. If we remove the parking lot to add a mixed-use unit, we should tell the force the developer to add the public parking as well. So the small businesses don't lose their parkings, they have still, and even if possible, we can even force to have even more parkings. So we can gain something from the investors for the city and for the small business owners. We don't lose anything to gain something else. So we need to manage it to bring both together up, not just one thing and losing the other thing and making even worse, because we know in Montrose area, there is almost no parking. If we go to visit somebody, a business over there, we can't find parking, and now destroy the whole parking lots. That's not a solution. We need to find the solution, but with supporting more housing units. So that's possible, and we can have that mandatory stuffs in the rules, in the codes. So they take the parking, they should provide even more parking, public parking.
Thank you. And everybody is calling you Mr. Grigoryan. Now I feel inadequate calling you with your first name, by your first
You can
name.
call me.
So
I'm younger than you all, I believe, so you can call me Gevorg, Gev.
So we'll call you Mr. Grigoryan. So your next question will come from our board member, one of our directors, Hilda Laferla.
Good morning, Mr. Grigoryan. Thank you for being here and answering our questions. My question is regarding rent registry. Do you support or oppose a mandatory rent registry in Glendale? If you support, what specific data should be collected and how should everyone's privacy be protected? And if you oppose it, what other data should the city use for rental market analysis?
So actually for the rental market analysis, that's important to have that, but collecting the private information, I don't believe that's a proper resolution for it. So we should find other ways without collecting any private information. Because for the city to know how much problems we have in the housing right now, we need to know how many rental areas we have, and we need to have the information about that, but not the private information, not the how should I say, the information that can be used against the people. So we need to be, it's actually a very thin line to keep our information that we need and without going into the private areas of the people. I would say this way.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Look, you have made great time, which means you will have some additional time to address some of the most important things that, in your opinion, we should be aware of. But I want to leave you with this thought that, or at least I want to be clear, that you think that rent registry may serve a purpose, but without exhaustive or intrusive information from the tenants or the landlords. Am I correct?
So yeah, actually, I do not support the rent registry. So we should not register this because that's we need to know, the city needs to know how many rental properties we have in the city. But I do not support the registry. We should find another way to have it.
Very good. And so now we are eagerly waiting for you to give us your closing remarks and or talk about anything that you think we as a group should know about you, because you have at least 4 minutes as we speak.
Oh, that's nice. So I'm registered as housing advocate. Actually, my ballot designation is a housing advocate. I'm here to add more housing units. But as I always say, I'm not here to destroy the character of Glendale. We should keep that. And that's very possible. Being an architect, I know how to do the planning, the proper planning for it. But to bring the affordability for our people. Because all these rising costs nowadays, especially the supplies and everything, the people don't even want to add more units. Right now, I know a lot of people that they come to me, they have added illegally ADUs and junior ADUs because in Glendale that takes forever. Right now, when we look in Glendale's website, just to add a fence in your home next to your home shows 187 business days just to get a fence permit. But in LA City, we see that that takes just a couple of minutes just to register online, and that's it, you have it. So we can adopt stuff like that to bring good experiences from other cities to Glendale to have faster permitting process. Because with the permitting process, the people will love to do everything legally. And we will have a lot of more housing units here. And the other thing is we need to support the police and fire departments. I'm always for that because right now we can see in Glendale the reckless driving, the problems with the safety in the northern side more, and we need to have the real solution for that. And we need a city that works for everyone, to be a business friendly, to support the small businesses, which depends. Always when I talk a lot, I always come back to the permitting process because really that's something that holds a lot of stuff back, like the businesses to come in Glendale, to grow the housing units, and which are necessary for the city of Glendale. Right now, in the planning department, it takes very much time with the design review board. I would support to remove the design review board from certain spaces in Glendale because right now in the downtown area and the civic center areas, we don't see any characteristic design that we should need a design review board because everyone has built already whatever they want. There is no Spanish style, that's not a modern style, nothing. So there are mix of everything. So why do we need the design review board now in downtown and civic center area? Let's do more business friendly, more apartment friendly in these specific areas and build more units here and have more places for people to live. There are some characteristic areas that we can keep the design review board, which are the Spanish style areas that are mostly the Spanish style homes. Those specific places we can keep. But with removing the design review board, we're gonna expedite the permitting process with 2 years at least. And that's, I believe, something very specific and very important to have it. Especially in the downtown and civic center areas, because the businesses mostly are coming in those areas. And I know a lot of businesses that they got bankrupt even before opening them, because 3 years waiting for a permit and paying every month $10,000 for the rent, it makes $360,000 during these 3 years. So not every small business owner or a starter can afford that to do. Right now, we know a fast food place, a German shawarma place. He waited 3 years to get his permits. Now he has to sell his shawarmas for $20, which is too expensive. In San Diego, we can see it's $10. In Los Angeles, $12. Why should in Glendale be $20? So those are making all the raising costs. And it doesn't matter if it's a food, or a rent or something. So those are that are bringing the costs higher and higher, and now the people are going out from Glendale. So, and being a former Army sergeant, I know what it means to stay on the field, to fight for your people, and I'm here to fight for the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. We appreciated having you as our guest, and we certainly have learned quite a bit from you. And with that, we bid you farewell, and we will be in touch with you. As you know, we are going to be interviewing a lot of other people as well.
Sure. And thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity as well.
Thank you very much.
And hope to earn your support. It's very important because I work with a lot of real estates, and some are even a part of your association. And I'm very proud to be close to those people. Thank you very much.
Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.